deep within the forest, in a place ruled by silence. A man sets out to build a small cabin with nothing but his own hands and the materials nature provides. This is not just about building a house. It is a journey of patience, labour, and living in harmony with the natural world. Each log cut, each nail driven, is a reminder of the timeless bond between man and nature. And this journey begins with a simple cup of tea. In the silence of the forest, the man begins cutting thick tree trunks to lay the foundation of his cabin. The posts are firmly set into the ground, forming the skeleton of the future home. Each strike echoes through the deep woods. Thick logs are placed across the posts to form the base. This solid platform becomes the first step on which the cabin will rise. Small but strong, a living space begins to take shape in nature. The man adds a second elevation above the first platform. Supported by beams and posts, this level brings new dimension to the cabin. After a time of hard work, he lights a fire and sets a small kettle on top. A wooden staircase is carefully built to connect the two floors. The sound of boiling water blends with the rustling leaves and distant bird song. He takes a sip of tea, resting quietly, absorbing the peace of the forest before returning to his labour. The triangular skeleton rises with logs placed at sharp angles. The characteristic A-frame shape of the cabin becomes visible in the forest. The man ties the logs with ropes, adding strength and durability. A protective cover, known as Strotex, is spread across the roof. It will act as a shield against rain and wind. As the man secures the sheet with nails, the cabin takes one step closer to becoming a true shelter. Wooden planks are nailed to the side walls. Each piece is carefully fitted, leaving no space uncovered. The silhouette of the cabin is now clearly visible. As the evening settles in, the man sits by the fire. He pours himself a cup of tea and drinks slowly. Letting the warmth ease the fatigue of the day. When night falls, the forest grows silent under the stars. The man lies down in his hammock, swaying gently until sleep carries him away. With the first light of dawn, a new day begins. Birdsong fills the air, and the man steps out of his cabin. The man turns back to his task, working on the front and back of the cabin. Each board adds strength, enclosing the structure more completely. Before returning to work, he prepares a small bowl. He pours a little milk, breaks some bread, and sets it down for his dog, ready to continue his work. Keeping his companion close by, with steady effort, the cabin becomes sturdier, its shape now clear on both sides. Thick branches are cut into circular slices. Each one polished to reveal the natural rings of the tree. These wooden discs are carefully fitted into the gaps of the wall, adding strength and sealing the structure against the wind. Their irregular patterns create a rustic design, turning simple walls into a natural artwork. Here, man's effort and nature's material blend into one, showing beauty and simplicity. After completing the wall decoration, the man surrounds the cabin with more wooden circles. Reinforcing the rustic design all around. Tired from his work, he pauses for a tea break. He sits quietly, sipping slowly, letting the warmth bring him comfort before continuing. Next, he turns to the second platform, where he adds a diagonal wooden fence. The crisscrossed pattern gives both safety and character to the structure. Finally, fearing the coming rains, he covers the roof with wooden planks. Layer by layer, the boards form a protective shield. Ensuring the cabin will withstand the weather. Inside the cabin, a simple bed platform is built from wooden boards. A layer of foil-faced insulation is laid over the surface, acting as a vapor barrier and keeping warmth inside. The man smooths the blanket on top, carefully adjusting the corners for a cleaner, tighter fit. Outside, a large log is cut and shaped into a sturdy table. The surface is smoothed with care, wide enough to prepare meals and place tools. Around the walls, small wooden boxes are added. Some are scorched for an aged look, others left raw to show the natural grain. They serve as shelves and storage, and some are turned into planters filled with soil and green plants. For a final touch, he puts together wooden planks to form a signboard. The sign is placed beside the cabin like a rustic guidepost, marking the spirit of his journey. On it, he writes the words, "Alone with nature." Step by step, the cabin transforms, not only into a shelter, but into a home filled with character, functionality, and rustic beauty. The man begins by crafting a simple wooden door for the cabin. He then applies the ancient charring technique, burning the surface lightly with fire. The flames darken the wood, protecting it from rot and giving it a rustic, weathered look. Afterward, he lights a small fire beside the cabin and takes a tea break. Sitting quietly, he enjoys the warmth of the cup before returning to his work. With careful strokes, he paints the newly charred door, sealing its surface. Earlier, he had also used the same charring method on a large log, leaving it with deep black textures. This creates contrast against the lighter tones of the cabin. While walking nearby, he discovers an old deer skull with antlers. He mounts it on the door. A symbol of respect to nature and a reminder of survival in the wilderness. Above the window, he fixes a wooden shelf. Placing his cup and a handmade cutting board neatly on top. Once again, he kindles a fire to prepare tea, the rising smoke curling into the forest air. He builds another shelf beside the window from thick logs, strengthening the cabin's interior. On the bed platform, he lays a heavy woven rug, adding both insulation and comfort. A simple curtain is hung across the window, bringing privacy and warmth to the room. Finally, he places old gas lanterns on the newly built shelves. On the sturdy wooden table, small jars of spices are neatly arranged. A handmade cutting board is placed in the center. On it, the man sets fresh chicken, ready to be cooked over the fire. Beside the meat, he lines up zucchini, cutting them into thin, even slices. The sound of the knife against wood blends with the quiet breath of the forest. With steady hands, he prepares each ingredient with care. On it, the man carefully lays slices of chicken and zucchini. Mushrooms, freshly picked from the forest floor, are cleaned and placed aside. The sharp sizzle marking the start of the meal. When they are ready, he tastes the chicken and zucchini, enjoying the flavor of his work. The aroma of roasting meat and vegetables drifts slowly through the trees, mingling with the scent of smoke and pine. Then he places the mushrooms onto the grill, letting them cook slowly over the fire. Once cooked, he tastes the mushrooms as well, their rich, earthy flavor completing the meal. Meal into a ritual of survival and peace in the heart of the forest.